Welcome, everyone, to our 2023 Davenport School Board Candidate Forum. This year we have 7 candidates running for 5 seats. 4 of those seats are full 4-year terms. 1 seat was vacated, so a candidate would fulfill 2 years of a 4-year term. As you can see, 5 of the 7 candidates are here tonight. Ken Barnes had a work commitment. He was not able to join us. With that said, he is the only candidate on the ballot that is running to fill that 2-year vacancy. He will provide a statement for us, and you'll be able to find that on the TV6 website. I'd now like to introduce TV6's investigative reporter, Matt Christensen, who will take us through the rules for tonight's forum.
Thank you, Morgan. Now, each candidate will have 1 minute to give an opening statement about why they're running. Then, each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question posed by the moderator. I'll be asking questions that have been submitted by KWQC viewers, and candidates will also have 1 minute to answer those. Questions will be asked of the candidates on a rotating basis. At the end of the hour, each candidate will have 1 final minute to give a closing statement. And please hold all applause until the end of the forum.
All right. Matt, thank you. We want to meet our candidates, of course. So I'm going to call on each of you to give your opening statement. This is really about what motivates you to become a Davenport School Board member or to continue serving. A reminder that you each have 1 minute to answer. And we are going to start with Daniel Gosa.
Do I start just right? All right. My name is Dan Gosa. I am a proud product of the Davenport Community School District. My wife and I have 4 kids. 1 recently graduated last year from the Davenport School District. I currently have 3 enrolled right now, a 1st grader, a 5th grader, and a junior in high school. And I am running for re-election. I feel that the district is going in the right trajectory right now. A lot of things have happened in the past few years, and we're overcoming some things, and we're going in the right direction now, and I'd like to keep that momentum going, and there's constantly room for improvement, and that's what I'd like to run for, to see the improvement keep going.
All right, Daniel, thank you so much. Up next, we have Andrew Kaufman.
Hi, I'm Andrew Kaufman, longtime Davenport resident. I currently have 1 student in 6th grade in Davenport schools, and also another child in parochial school. I'm here and running for Davenport schools to make Davenport schools the choice and the destination for education in the Quad City area and the region. We have a lot of room for improvement. I'm here to ensure that our children and our teachers have a safe environment to learn in. And more than anything, just a voice for children and for their parents.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Up next, we have Connie King.
I'm Connie King, a retired high school English teacher, and I'm running because too often I hear people say they don't want to live in Davenport because they don't want their kids to go to the Davenport schools. I think the Davenport schools have a lot of promise and a lot of potential, and I have certainly known a number of students who have gone through the Davenport schools and had excellent experiences. I do want the district to be able to listen to the teachers and act on their concerns, because when the teachers have their concerns taken care of, they are able to meet their students' concerns much better than if they are worried about other things going on around them besides what they're just teaching.
All right, Connie, thank you. Up next, we have Karen Klein-Jerome.
I'm Karen Klein-Jerome. I am a graduate of Davenport West High School. I taught in the district for 32 years. This is my 4th year on the school board. When I ran 4 years ago, I wanted to be sure that we prepared students to live productive lives, restore trust in the district in the area of finance, and improve communication. I think Davenport Schools offers great opportunities for students with our CTE programs and our college prep, including dual enrollment. Our finances are in order. 4 years ago, that would not have been what I would say, but right now we have finances under control and going in the right direction. We have improved our communication. I would like to continue to work on the board to make sure that all students are getting a quality education and that students' learning and success are our central focus.
All right, Karen, thank you. Up next, we have Kent Poston.
Kent Poston, I'm a graduate of Davenport Central. Our 4 children graduated from Davenport West. 3 grandchildren have graduated or are attending West at this time. All of who have got a wonderful education from the Davenport district. As Karen mentioned, when we first came on the board, finances were in disarray. There were a number of things that we had to work through. We were constantly putting out fires. The reason I want to run again is I want to finish the work that we've been doing and to continue to promote student achievement. The areas that I want to focus in and the board will be focusing on is attendance, curriculum, finances, facilities, safety, pre-K, graduation rate, open enrollment out, and teacher retention.
All right, thanks to all of you for your introductions. We want to head over to Matt Christensen for a question now submitted by a KWQC viewer ahead of the forum tonight. Matt?
Thanks, Morgan. Here's the question. New state numbers show students are leaving public schools in Scott County because of a new law that allows students to use public money for private schools. What can the school district do to recruit and retain students in the Davenport district? We'll start with Andrew Kaufman.
Davenport Schools is at a crossroad with this new law that they absolutely must get better. It's the only choice. They've got to have a safer environment than they do today. The number one thing that you hear from both teachers and students is that they don't like Davenport Schools because it's not safe. So we got to work on safety. We got to work on quality of education. We got to work on administration, not fighting parents. And we just got to be better because that's the only way to compete with the parochial schools in the district, especially when there's funding is not a problem. It's no longer a barrier for most families anymore.
Thank you, Andrew Kaufman. Next up is Connie King.
One of the things that the Davenport schools need to do to deter students from going to parochial schools is point out the many opportunities that are available in the public schools that just aren't available in the private schools. We have incredible activities. Just last week was the band extravaganza, which is not something that most parochial schools can pull off. We have a very sound trade program, and it's improving all the time and adding things to it. That is something else that parochial schools don't usually have. Plus, we have all kinds of opportunities as far as dual enrollment classes, and I think those are the things that really support the Davenport schools, the public schools, rather than the parochial school.
Thank you. Karen Klein-Jerome.
Well, I said earlier that our communication has improved. I think we still have a ways to go. If you don't have students in the district, you are probably not aware of all the things that we offer. And so I think we need to do some promoting of our programs. We are going to be offering 16 CTE programs, career technical education, that prepare students to go into the workforce. Many of our students get an apprenticeship at John Deere after going through a welding program. The North High offers dual enrollment, so you can graduate with a high school diploma and an associate's degree. We need to do a better job of promoting ourselves so that people know what's available. We have the Creative Arts Academy that is at Sudlow and Central. Again, we have some specialized programs that none of the other district schools have, and we just need to do a better job of letting people know this is what opportunities we offer.
Thanks. Kent Posture.
Many of these things have already been said, but again, we need to do a better job of promoting the district because we do have, as been mentioned, many programs that most schools are not able to offer. Again, talking about the CTE program, the Career Arts Academy, dual enrollment, and then the other thing that the district is very good about is providing interventionists within the classrooms, and being able to help with student achievement. And I would put the Davenport School District up against any district in the area as far as what we provide.
Thank you. Daniel Gosa, please.
A lot of the things have already been said. One of the biggest things, we just don't promote ourselves. We don't tell our story enough. And relying on community partnerships. One of the things I did 3 years ago when I became board president, myself and the superintendent do intergovernmental meetings where we meet with every mayor that we have jurisdiction in bi-monthly, so we can kind of go over things so they can help promote us as well as us promote them, so because they can reach some of those pockets that we can't. And we definitely need to step our social media game up and things like that, and really rely on our community partners, and start, promoting videos of some of our success stories of our students that are, moving on, furthering their careers and things like that. But yeah, it's something we're always trying to improve and things like that. So we also are working on getting our feeder program, so that way we'll be able to promote families early on and move them up through things. We have great fine arts. You're not going to find anything better around. The band spectacular is a huge thing of that. And 1 minute is not enough time, but
Thank you, Morgan.
All right. Well, of course, we want to hear more about all of you as individuals. So, what particular skills, strengths, or even experiences qualify you to serve as a school board member? And we are going to be starting with Connie King.
As I said, I'm a retired English teacher, and I know what goes on in the classroom. And I get the idea that there's a disconnect between district administration and what actually happens in classrooms. I have a number of friends who teach in the elementary schools, and they are frustrated sometimes by the lack of understanding how curriculum works in a classroom. Every class is different, and every student is different. And teachers know that, but sometimes the curriculum comes down as a one size fits all, and it doesn't fit all. And consequently, the teachers are the ones who have to figure out how to make it work. And sometimes that doesn't always happen with administrators standing over you and expecting you to fit a square peg into a round hole. And the fact that I know what goes on in a classroom, I think, makes me unique in the idea of being on the school board.
Connie, thank you. Karen Klein-Jerome.
I was also a teacher. I'm comfortable meeting with people, listening to what they have to say, getting their input. And I've been in leadership positions where I've run meetings and things like that. And you've got to listen to all sides of the story when doing that. I also am a volunteer for a school pantry in Davenport, and we serve Madison and Central high school students. I'm on the leadership team there, so I understand some of the needs in the district at that level, that there is, food insecurity everywhere, and that's just one little area that we, try to meet the needs of families in those two schools.
Thank you. Kent Postjan.
I've lived in the community for 72 years. I've run a business for 50 years. I have to meet payroll every week. I have to have a budget in order to run a business. And that's why I feel quite strongly serving on the finance committee for the school board. Karen and myself serve on that committee. As you well know, our finances were in disarray for a number of years, and we've got that turned around. And so from my business experience, I think that has been a plus and been able to add something to the board. And the other thing is that when we talk about what's going on in the buildings as far as with student achievement, we've got to remember that all these kids are our kids. We can't live in a bubble. We've got to address the needs of all our children in the district.
Ken, thank you. We have Daniel Gosa.
I guess first thing I'll start with past serving on a board, right? there are a lot of things that school boards can and can't do, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. I take almost every board workshop that the ISB provides. I've actually facilitated a few of them for different board presidents around the state. Matter of fact, I'm leading the state right now at like 42 hours or something worth of time. I'm willing to put the time into it. Being on the school board is a huge time commitment. We spend probably 20, 30 hours by the time you go through everything and things like that. School finance is it's a fickle thing in itself. You have to have a degree in that stuff. It's very complicated. There's different pots of money for different things. I'm very involved in the community, so I feel I'm very approachable. I talk to all different people, whether I'm at the grocery store or my ballpark or different things like that. So.
All right, thank you so much. And then we have Andrew Kaufman.
So I'm a parent of a special needs child in Davenport School District, and over the last 6 years, 7 years, watching the struggles in the fight to get the care that my child needs has driven me to be on this board, to make sure not every kid gets exactly what they need without having to fight to get it. Also a small business owner here in the Quad Cities, intentionally put my business in Davenport because I wanted my tax dollars to be going towards my school, my child's school. And I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight for every kid, every parent, no matter what.
All right, thank you so much. And we're going to head back over to Matt for another viewer question.
Thanks, Morgan. Here's the second question from viewers. Teachers say they feel under attack because of a new state policy around book bans and others around gender issues. What's your plan for implementing these new policies while supporting and retaining teachers at the same time? We'll start with Connie King, please.
That's a tough one. We have to obey the law, but I do think we need to work on lobbying the state legislature to make some of those changes. I trust the librarians and teacher librarians that they know what they're doing. Again, listening to the teachers and understanding their concerns about things may help to retain them. I think a lot of teachers get frustrated with sometimes the levels of bureaucracy that they have to go through in order to be heard about concerns. And it would be nice to find a way to speed up that communication or to cut the levels that they have to go through in order to get there. That's about all I can think of right now.
Thank you. Karen Klein-Jerome.
We do have to follow the law. We can't, fight that at this point. We should be talking to our legislators, and we do have a legislative committee that meets with all of our legislators and voice our concerns in all areas. We do have a policy in place, so if someone has an issue with a certain book, there's a process in place to be able to go follow that process. But I also think we have to support our teachers because they're in the classroom and they feel that burden of, oh, am I going to get in trouble because I read Roald Dahl to my fourth graders or something like that? So we have to let them know that, yes, we're here to support you. And I think we have teachers who really do know what they're doing.
Thank you. Kent Poston, please.
Again, as has been said, we definitely have to follow the law, and we do have the policy in place. I serve on the legislative committee for the school board and have spent numerous trips lobbying at state legislature. So when there's changes need to be taking place, that's one way that we can voice our opinion and lobby at the state legislature.
Thank you. Daniel Gosa.
The same thing like Kent had said. I also serve on the legislative advocacy. Every year before they go into session, we have the legislators right here in this room. We'll have a breakfast for one group and then a lunch for the next group so we can advocate for things like that. We do have to find ways to support our teachers while working within the law. I mean, it's the law. We also do numerous days on the Hill and things like that, or making phone calls to legislators. And I do that both through the school board and the AEA. So,
Thanks. Andrew Kaufman?
So the laws are there for good reason. We need to keep politics out of our schools and concentrate on educating our children. Once Davenport schools can get down reading, writing, and arithmetic, then we can start worrying about some of these other issues. Our number one goal is to educate our children in the basic skills, and the books are banned for good reason, and there's no reason that we can't have curriculum designed outside of those core books that the state has banned.
Thanks. Morgan, what's next?
We're going to talk about some positives. We want to know what you feel personally are some positives about the Davenport district that set it apart or make it stand out, especially when it comes to other districts in the QCA community. We're going to start with Karen Klein-Jerome.
And this is a repeat of some of the things I've said and others have said. Our CTE program, when we have apprenticeship signing, we are probably the largest district with the number of students that are signing apprenticeships. John Deere, almost all the kids coming out of our welding class, they would take them all because they know that they're well-trained and ready to work at John Deere. I think our fine arts program, we have a band from Central that played in the London Parade. They are in competitions almost every weekend. Our show choirs are top-notch everywhere and winning competitions. So we have those types of things. North High offers dual enrollment. Any student, as a ninth grader can come in and earn an associate's degree by the time they leave school. So I think we have some very unique programs.
Thank you. All right, Kent Postgen, what sets the Davenport district apart?
Well, many of the things have already been said, but again, just to reiterate, the CTE program is huge. The last 2 years, I've attended the apprenticeship signing program. And again, as Karen mentioned, numerous students have signed on as either internships or apprenticeships. One positive that has taken place in the last 2 years is our facility and planning, long-range planning, and those buildings that have been in need of repair. We're looking at them. We're looking at remodeling a number of buildings, and I think this is going to be a very big positive for the district. And again, another really big positive is how we've turned the district around in the last 4 years. When I came on the board 4 years ago, again, our finances were in terrible shape. We were under the control of the state of Iowa and our Department of Ed, and we've turned that around. We've met and taken care of all of our citations, and so I think that's a positive outlook on the district. And moving forward, I think we'll be in much better shape.
All right, Kent, thank you. Daniel Gosa.
Same things. The career and technical education, the Creative Arts Academy, no other school district around has anything like that. We have Special Olympics program going on at West High School. They do a phenomenal job there. The facilities master plan, I can't say any other school district around that included every person in their community. Somebody got something in their mail, whether they had kids in the district or not. If they lived within the boundaries, they were able to give input before the board ever saw anything on that. We're constantly gathering feedback and things like that, doing surveys to involve the community. It's something that hasn't happened in this district. It's going right. We were able to get state accreditation back. That was a huge thing from where we were. And like I said earlier, the trajectory is going the right direction. We just got to keep the momentum going and learn and grow as we keep going.
Thank you. Andrew Kaufman.
So Davenport Schools' probably biggest benefit is the potential for gains. Um, we need to start kids young. We've got lots of programs for high school age students and students looking to go into careers, but we got to start with the basics. We got to get our kids reading proficiently. We got to get them proficient in math, and we got to stand behind our good teachers. Too often, I visit with teachers of my students or other teachers, and the obstacles that they face with administration is holding the teachers back from truly helping these kids at a young age. We've got to get behind the kids when they're young and offer programs while they're young, so that they can take advantage of the programs as they mature. So potential.
Thank you. Connie King.
The opportunities are endless. I am impressed with the CTE programs because they keep expanding, and they're just a wonderful idea because too many kids think they have to go to college and they don't. The trades are available and they really need to have a lot of young people getting into them. But a couple of the things that impress me the most about the Davenport schools are their drama and music programs. The music is wonderful. The show choirs are great. I was peripherally involved with the West Show Choir a number of years ago when my neighbor kids were involved in it. And also the drama. I don't think gets enough pointed out, the plays and the musicals that are put on. I saw Les Mis at North High School several years ago, and I've seen professional productions of that have to go a long way to beat what I saw at North High. They did an awesome job, and that needs to be promoted more, that sort of thing is available for the kids of Davenport.
Wow, Connie, thank you. We're going to head over to Matt for another viewer question.
Thanks, Morgan. Now here's a viewer question that we received from several viewers. It's, how can the district expand services and early childhood education so that students have a better chance to succeed? We'll start with Kent Poston.
Well, I've been pushing hard for more pre-K in the schools, and I think if we can get our touches on these kids at a younger age, and so that they have the advantage of pre-K like a lot of the students have. In order to do that, we're going to have to maybe make some changes in facilities. But when the sixth graders are moved next year back into middle school, hopefully there'll be opportunities for more space in the elementary, and then be able to have more pre-K in some of our buildings.
Thank you. Daniel Gosa.
As Ken said, preschool, pre-K is a huge thing. Also, we're able to rely. I was just at an AEA board meeting last night. We're actually talking about this stuff. It's getting kids younger. The AEA has an early learning program from 3 to 5 year olds, which every district in AEA District 9 benefits from, where they're trying to early screen kids to find out if there's roadblocks in the way of their learning, so that they can get them the supports they need early on to catch them early on, so that they don't struggle with it as they go through. So that is a huge area, and if we're able to rely on our AEA partners to help out with that, not all of the burden is on the district. We have partners there to help with those things.
Andrew Kaufman.
Again, pre-K for all students. It should be an option for every kid to go to preschool in Davenport schools. And then the pre-screening and early intervention. Parents shouldn't have to fight to get their kid in speech therapy or physical therapy or occupational therapy at a young age. We need to broaden the ability to catch these problems that kids are having at an early age and eliminate them before they become major learning obstacles for the children. And just more early intervention is exactly what we need.
Connie King.
Preschool has certainly shown its benefit to having that, and obviously to expand it, we need both the space and the money. And I suspect that the money needs to come from lobbying the legislature to make sure that the district gets the money that it needs. Maybe some grants and some partnerships with businesses could be looked at to see where that would go. And obviously the space needs to be available. I know we have some buildings that do have space in them or will have space in them, and that could be looked at as well. It's certainly worth doing well if we can do it.
Karen Klein-Drew.
Currently, we do have 2 standalone facilities and 2 schools that have some preschool in them as well, 2 elementary buildings. One of the things we also need, though, is a wraparound program. The state funds 4-year-olds. You'll see signs everywhere, you know, free 4-year-old preschool, but that is only for like about a half a day. And if you're a working parent, then what? A wraparound program would allow the students to be there if they're morning preschool in the afternoon and get services and those types of things. But again, it's a funding issue that the state needs to pay for the wraparound services or all-day preschool. We also partner with Head Start and we set aside special ed seats in all of our preschools so that the students that fit under those categories have an opportunity to do it. But we certainly need to expand it, get it into more of our elementary buildings, hopefully with the funding, and do some wraparound.
Thanks. I appreciate those answers. Morgan.
Well, of course, we've heard from a few of our incumbents all that has been done over the past 4 years, which is a lot. But we want to talk about the next 4. What do you see as the top 2 or even 3 priorities the board should be working on from here on out? How would you prioritize those issues? We'll start with Daniel Gosa for this one.
We just talked about one, preschool. That's a huge priority, I know, going forward. The facilities master plan, obviously, we're going into phase 1. We'll have phase 2 and 3 and all that because we need to right size our district to free up the general fund dollars to be able to make the direct impacts in the classroom. Because facilities are paid out of a different pool of money. They're out of Save and Pebble funds, where salaries, running the building, everything else is paid out of the general fund dollars. And when we're able to save money there, that's when we'll be able to make the direct impacts to be able to offer your reading intervention, your math interventions and things like that. So that's some of the big priorities, as well as getting the teachers the supports that they're saying that they need in the classroom so there's not barriers there to get the kiddos there. Because at the end of the day, we service the kiddos, and we need to provide them the things that they need.
Great, thank you. Andrew Kaufman.
So school safety, number 1, top on my list. I want children to feel safe at school. I want teachers to feel safe while teaching children. Teachers can be more effective when they're not worried about outbursts in the class or violence. You talk to parents or teachers in the district, and that's their number 1 concern is Davenport schools aren't safe for my kids. And preschool, and then those early interventions immediately. We can find the money to do it. It's just about taking the time and making it a priority to get it done. So again, safety, and early intervention for children.
All right, Andrew Kaufman, thank you. Connie King.
I think one of the top priorities should be in retaining teachers and being able to hire new ones. I know the district started the school year short of teachers and definitely short of paras. And one of those is because a lot of teachers retire or they go someplace else. And to retain them, it needs to involve, as I said earlier, getting rid of the layers of bureaucracy between the teachers in the classroom and the administrations, and making sure that they are understanding what the teachers' concerns are. I was, in spite of the fact that I don't have children in the district, I was able to get all the surveys that were sent out about the master plan. And I do think that that's another priority. It's already in place and it needs to be continued to work on because it does seem like it has some definite good ideas to it.
All right, Connie, thank you. So, top 2 or 3 priorities for Karen Klein Jerome.
When the state took over control of the district, we were not allowed to spend money on facilities or curriculum and that type of thing. So some of these things are long overdue. The facilities, we're focusing on the junior highs, middle schools, intermediate schools, whatever you like to call them at this point. And that's why Sudlow and then SMART will be addressed first. Curriculum, we have already adopted a number of new curriculums, and we'll try to get it on a rotating basis so we aren't going 10, 15 years with the same curriculum, and that it comes up for renewal more often. Attendance is a big issue in the district. If you're not in school, you can't learn. And so we're trying different approaches to try to get students here. It takes parents also being involved to say, you got to get up, you got to get to school, and retain teachers. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Kent Postjan.
Number one would be preschool, and again, we've discussed that previously. We will need some sort of wraparound services, and we will need some sort of funding to make that work. Facilities, as already been mentioned, is huge. We've spent the last 2 years working on that. We had input from teachers, parents, staff, and are continuing to work and go forward with that. We've got 2 very big projects addressing Sudlow and SMART intermediate schools. I think we need to have the type of facilities where the kids and teachers are proud to go into those buildings and have a facility that's conducive to student learning. Teacher retention is a huge area that we'll have to address, but this is not something that's an issue just with our district. I mean, it's all over the state. All districts are short on teachers. The other thing that I would like to see improved, and by addressing our facilities, I think this will help. But we have too many kids that are not involved in extracurricular activities, whether that's sports, band, whatever it might be. Kids need to get involved, and this will be also a way for them to be more productive citizens as they graduate from school.
All right, thank you, Kent Postjan. And Matt, viewer question, audience question?
Yeah, sure. This is another one, another topic where we receive multiple questions. And I'll phrase it this way. Is the district on the right track when it comes to closing or opening schools? And we'll start with Andrew Kaufman.
Absolutely not. Closing a school is extremely painful for a community. Directly impacted that myself. A child with special needs changed schools. My child not only changed schools but changed teachers. Changed their entire environment when things were going smooth. We've got to find other solutions. We're talking about not having space for preschools, but yet we're closing schools. We can't bus kids. It's proven that when you bus a child to school, it has a detrimental impact on the child. So we're taking kids out of their home school, busing them further instead of addressing issues that we should be going after. If we get enrollment up, we're going to need those schools. And we get enrollment up by being a better school.
Connie King.
As painful as it is, I think that the district is going to be dealing with school closures over the next 10, 20, 25 years. There's a demographic change, fewer school-age children all over the country, and certainly that's the case in Davenport. And I think that as much as we don't like the idea, we are probably going to have to reduce schools eventually. So it's not an answer people want to hear, but it is the reality of the situation.
Karen Klein Jerome.
Yes, I do think we're on the right track. Unfortunately, it didn't happen over a spread out time that should have been addressed sooner than this. But when you could take all of Bettendorf school kids and put them into Davenport schools and never have to build one classroom to accommodate them, you obviously have too much space. So I do believe we're on the right track. As Connie said, we have an older demographics. I grew up on a street in Davenport where every household but one had kids. That same street that my dad continued to live on now has one house with the kids in it that go to school. The rest are older people. So, we aren't attracting the families into the district to fill our schools.
Karen Washington.
Closing schools is not fun. It's a tough thing to do, but this is something that should have been done years ago, and it's part of the reason we got into financial straits. I think we can accommodate those students when we close them. Not only the building that's closed is affected, but also boundaries have to be changed to adjust for the kids that are moved to other schools. But again, we have to look at open enrollment out. People are having less children, and so we will continue to have to look at right sizing the district.
Daniel Dose.
I said it on the last time I spoke, but people are aging in place, right? You move into a place, you stay there forever. You have your kids there. You like it, you stay. Your kids might stay in the same neighborhood or whatever, but folks aren't having as many kids nowadays. When Davenport School District was originally built, I want to say it was for like 25,000 students. We have like 14,000 students now. Just over the course of time, things weren't done. And as I said, we have to make the impacts to the general fund because that's where we make the impacts in the classroom that reach the students. I understand it was a very hard decision to make. There was a lot of time that went into that, a couple-year process. It's not something that happens overnight, but at the end of the day, we have to be able to provide the best for our students, and we need money to do that in the general fund. So sometimes you have to do things that not everyone likes, but at the end of the day, you have to keep the students in mind. All students, not just a few, not a couple, all.
Thanks. I'm going to try to squeeze in as many viewer questions as we have here in the time remaining. So I'll ask this question next. Is the district doing enough to communicate in a transparent way with parents, taxpayers, and the Quad City community at large? And I'll start with Connie King this time.
I think the district does a pretty good job of communicating. They use social media a lot. I see stories in the newspaper. I see stories on television about it. I am involved in social media as well as I get 2 newspapers every day. So I certainly see a lot of things about it. And I'm not part of the internal things that parents would get because I'm not a parent in the district. So I think the district does a pretty good job of communicating to all of its stakeholders about what's going on in the district.
Karen Klein Jerome.
We are doing better than we were with social media. There's a post or 2 on there daily. The newspaper ran 2 great articles on the district just the other day about our music program. And so it's nice that, yes, we are getting the word out there, but I think we can do better. And there's a population there that do not have kids in school, and they are older. They don't do social media. So we have to figure out, how do we reach these people? How do we reach, they still live in the district. They still are taxpayers, and they have the right to know what's going on. So there is room for improvement to get more information out to them. We survey people whenever we feel that that will help us as a board make a good decision. So I think we're doing a good job. I think there is room for improvement.
Can't question.
Approximately in any community, approximately 75% of the residents don't have kids in school. So again, as has been mentioned, sometimes it's hard to reach those people. I think we do a good job with the social media. We are looking at hiring a communication director to aid with an outside media source. So I think that will help. We send out numerous surveys. Don't a lot of times don't get a lot back, but we do make the attempt.
Daniel Gosa.
I'm going to echo what a lot of things that have been said. Social media, robo dialer, and if you're a parent in the district, you kind of get annoyed by that. Trust me. You get emails. We do the e-blast. We send our media releases to you all at KWQC as well as your competitors. We send things out to the Quad City Times. We have open forum at our regular meetings where it gives the community an opportunity to come and address the board. Obviously, the board can't do back and forth. We also offer a virtual open forum where they can actually phone in from home if transportation is an issue or anything like that, because we wanted to eliminate hurdles like that. Our meetings are recorded. They stay forever on our YouTube channel. We do get a lot of people. We don't get a lot of people in here, but a lot of people watch the YouTube channel. So I think, and I stated earlier, we sent out a survey to every household within our district. There's always room for improvement. So if there's some suggestions someone's has, I would be open to that.
Andrew Kaufman.
So communication's two ways. I believe Davenport Schools has done a great job at disseminating information to the public. As they've stated, the robo dialer does get rather annoying. But the second part of that is listening to your community and making changes or actually interacting at the forums with the people in the audience that have a question instead of just staring back at them blankly. I don't believe Davenport Schools does the second part of communication, and that's what I look to bring to the table is listening to parents, finding out the problems, listening to children, and really bringing that reactive part of communication back to the district.
Thanks, folks. I think we're close on time, so I'm going to turn it over to Morgan.
All right, sounds good. It's time for our closing statements right now. Each candidate is going to get 2 minutes to tell us anything that you would like to say to voters. This is also a really good time for you to individually touch on something that maybe didn't come up in tonight's forum, and share your feelings on that. We are going to start with Karen Klein-Jerome.
I believe in this district. I believe in our students and our staff. And while the public oftentimes hears if something goes wrong, that is reported right away. Everybody hears that, but you don't always hear the good things that are going on. So I do think we have a great staff. We have great students, great programs. We're just needing to make sure that people know that. I think we've made great progress from the time I got on the board 4 years ago, lost our accreditation, financial issues. We have come a long way in 4 years. Gaining our accreditation back was a huge thing. And one of the attorneys for the Department of Ed said his cohorts have talked about this, and that no district who's ever been in the position that we were in has ever come out positive like we have. So I think I'm willing to do the work. I am on the finance committee. We are never going back to overspending and doing that type of issue that got us into trouble, along with the other things, the special ed not getting the services that they deserve. And we have made up I think, almost all of the hours that were owed to those students. I believe Davenport students deserve the best education, and I'd like to continue making the district a district of choice that people coming to the area do say, oh yeah, I've heard great things about the music program, the arts program, the dual enrollment, even the preschools, and make this the district that they want to move into.
Karen, thank you. Kent Poston.
Well, I'm 100% behind this district. I think we have a lot to offer. As Karen mentioned, we've gone through a lot of things in the last 4 years. I have all our kids and grandkids got a wonderful education here, and went on to two of our daughters went on to be teachers. My wife Marcia taught at Monroe Elementary for 4 years. My dad served on this school board for 15 years. And so we have a lot of connection with education, and proud of that. As I mentioned earlier, I've run a business for 50 years. And that's why I feel very strongly serving on the finance committee. The finances are so critical to this district. Keep in mind that our budget is over $200 million. And then on top of this, these past few years, we had $80 million worth of ESSER funds that we worked with and used. So again, I feel very positive about the school district. We still have a lot of things to achieve, and I'd like to be a part of that.
Kent, thank you. Daniel Gosa.
I think I've said a lot of the things already. Again, I have kids in the district. Anything that happens in this district does directly affect me and my family. I also serve in other capacities in the community, and trust me, I hear about it at my little league fields and things like that if things aren't going good in the classroom and things. I've always been a champion of Davenport Community School District. I believe in this district 100%. I think we have some of the best staff around. We have amazing students. And that's not just teachers. We have paraprofessionals. We have custodians, food service workers, our secretaries. Every one of the individuals that we employ impacts the student's life every day. And the only ones I ever hear anyone talk about are the teachers, and they forget about everybody else that's there helping those kiddos out along the day. Sometimes that's the only positive impact that those kids have. I want to continue to be a champion for the kiddos that can't speak for themselves sometimes. I think we do a great job, and I love serving my community. And it's not for the pay or benefits, despite what everyone thinks. School board members get paid nothing, and they get no benefits.
All right, thank you, Daniel Gosa. Andrew Kaufman.
I'd like to be a voice for the parents and the children, every parent, every child, especially children with special needs. It hits very close to me. I believe Davenport Schools has failed our children with special needs and IEPs. The state taking over is a perfect example of that. We've got a ton of room of improvement to make sure that every child is taken care of. I want to be on this board in case something happens again, like COVID, where the board just turned power over to the superintendent and things just went haywire. And I want to be here to make sure that doesn't happen again, and that the best interest of the children are always number one priority, no matter what. I will listen to parents. My phone will be available for anybody to call me at any time. I will spend time in the classrooms. I will spend time with the teachers. I'm in this to build a better community and to help our kids get a quality education at Davenport Schools.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Your closing statement, Connie King.
I have lived in Davenport for over 30 years and have watched all the goings on of the school district for that long. And I've always been impressed by the fact that everybody keeps going back to school no matter what. The teachers in particular, I know, have known a lot of them, and they impress me by their dedication and by the fact that they walk in every day no matter what happened the day before. I would like to be an advocate for those teachers so that their concerns get met, particularly about trying to make things fit in the classroom that don't always fit real well, like some of the lessons they have to teach, some of the discipline problems that they run into that too often get thrown back on the teacher. Sometimes the teacher's already done everything the teacher can do, and there needs to be something else that they can do. And so I think that that's where the district steps in with some kind of plan about what do we do when the teacher's done everything the teacher can do. And I would like to be able to help form something like that and see that it's implemented. The teachers, when their needs are met, when their concerns are met, they are working with students without the concerns of some of those things hanging over their heads, which means they have more time for the students and more time to make sure the students are doing everything they can to meet their potentials.
Right, Connie King, thank you. And a reminder for everybody that is tuning in right now, we've got seven candidates running for school board this year, so voting is important, getting out there to vote. That's why we want to send it over to Matt with some reminders for us.
Yeah, absolutely, Morgan. Voting is very important. It's our expression of democracy. So to find your polling place, visit the Scott County Auditor's website. You'll find some resources there on how to find that polling place, how to register to vote, what to bring to the polls. And I'll also remind folks too that city races for mayor and city council are also on the ballot. So mark your calendar and let your voice be heard. I think it's also important if you need some resources on more candidates or more on learning how to vote, you can always visit our news app or website. Morgan?
Absolutely, yeah. Something that TV6 will be doing in the weeks to come before Election Day is making all of that available to the viewers who are maybe tuning in to watch this forum tonight, making it easy for all of you out there. And for all of you sitting here, we want to thank our candidates for participating tonight. We really appreciate your time. Let's do a little round of applause. You're all wonderful. And a reminder, too, if you'd like to rewatch any portion of this program, it is available for you at KWQC.com. You can also download our TV6 News app and watch it there. And one quick reminder, Ken Barnes, who was not able to be here this evening, is providing us with a statement that should be up on our website as soon as it is available. Thank you all, and have a great night.